Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing and sharing with you one of my favorite recipes, and it's made with Spam, or generic Spam, luncheon meat, the wonderful loaf of who knows what. If you're prepping and you have luncheon meat or Spam, you better know how to use it. You better learn how to love it, because you don't want to wait until SHTF to start trying to use it and figuring out recipes. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite recipes today, Spam fried rice. And then hopefully you guys will comment down below and share your Spam recipes for everybody else to see and to try. And I can't wait to see them and give them a try myself. Step one is going to be the rice. I'm only going to use 2 cups. That's all I ever use because it usually makes enough for my son and I. You can use jasmine rice, long grain rice. I'm going to use long grain today. Oops, I got a bay leaf in there. Step 2, wash your rice. When I do long grain rice, it has a lot of starch, so I usually rinse it at least 5 or 6 times. When I do jasmine rice, it's a little bit cleaner and less starchy. You'll see what I mean. So I literally just, you know how to wash rice. Like I'm teaching you something new. Just kind of wash it with your hands. See how white the water is? You want to get it so that it's mostly clear. Last time I rinse it, I used my lid. That way I can get all of the tap water out. And then, if you're not a rice cooker person, you might not know this. I always use a rice cooker. It's just so easy. It always makes perfect rice. But if you do 2 scoops of rice, you fill it up to this little 2 line. 3 scoops of rice, fill it up to the 3. I need to refill my Alexa Pure, you can see it. All right. This is my trusty old rice cooker. It was probably $20 at Walmart. This is the really hard part. You have to be careful. You put it in, you put the lid on, and you push it down. That's it. Okay, that was step 3. This is step 4. Get your Spam or your luncheon meat. I actually like this Great Value luncheon meat. Look at that beautiful, beautiful loaf. And pound it. And it'll come out. Now, this is the way I slice it. Just because this is the size I would slice it for a Spam musubi, so I've just always cut it this way. And I don't know if you can see the size of my slices here. Let's see. About that thick. And you should get 9 to 10 slices out of each loaf, I guess is what you would call this thing. so I got 10 slices out of that. Okay, and trigger warning for you guys, because I get lots of comments about how salty Spam is. I'm just keeping it real. This is how I cook it. You guys asked about recipes for using Spam, and this is how I make my Spam fried rice. We're going to add even more salt. This is regular soy sauce. And I usually just kind of fill the bottom of the pan like this. And then add about equal parts water. And just kind of mix it around. So you're kind of going to boil the Spam in this soy sauce and water mixture on like medium heat. And I know that I can perfectly fit 6 pieces of Spam in here. So yes, we are adding more salt to an already salty meat, but you're just gonna kind of let that simmer a little bit, and then once it starts bubbling, you'll flip them, and you just want to make the Spam like a nice and dark, saucy color. Once it starts bubbling up a lot, go ahead and flip them. And eventually that soy sauce water mixture is going to absorb into the Spam. And when your pan starts getting, I guess, drier, or when you start to see the soy sauce reducing, you want to add some more water because it'll burn and stick to your pan. So when you start seeing that liquid kind of disappearing and it getting into like a reduction and thickening up, you want to add more water. This is what I mean. You don't want it to get to that point, but I had to show you what I meant. So just add a little more water. You can add more soy sauce. Or don't. I'm going to. So that's about my recommended daily allowance for sodium for the week. I'm going to let that keep on simmering. Okay, my Spam is about where I want it. All the liquids are basically absorbed. So I'll take these off. And if I put my rice on right before I start cutting and cooking my Spam, it almost always works out that as soon as the Spam is ready, I'll turn over to the rice cooker and it's turned from cooked to warm. So it's going to be on warm for, I would give it 10 to 15 minutes before you use it for cooking. The next step is going to be taking the Spam and cutting it into bite-sized pieces. This is just how I do it. This is the weirdest little cutting thing. It just keeps popping up. I can't make it flat. And I usually use all 6 pieces for 2 cups of fried rice. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to use the entire 2 cups. I probably actually wind up using like 1.5 cups of it. And these little delicious morsels of soy sauce soaked Spam, delicious. Okay, and the last step is to actually make the fried rice. Any kind of oil that you use, I use avocado oil just because I like the taste of it better, or the lack of taste. Sesame oil, some soy sauce, and I use garlic powder and pepper. You can add chopped green onions, you can add peas and carrots, you can add any kind of vegetables that you like, but this is just how I do it because it's simple and this is what my son likes. So put some oil on your pan. I just have it on like a medium high. And then sesame oil you want to use very, very sparingly. So literally just that much. And that's good to go because it's very potent. And then kind of just combine the 2 oils. And once that's heated up, we'll add our rice. While that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and whisk or scramble 2 eggs. These are the fresh eggs, so these shells are super hard. Oops. I was a little too aggressive with it. I'm just going to set these on the side because we don't need them yet. Okay, the oil's nice and hot. So we're going to add some rice. And I already kind of took some out of, this is the 2 cups, this is how much it made. I already took some out for my son for dinner. So basically I'm just going to kind of fill the pan. I guess I am going to use all of it. I'm going to eat that. I just kind of let the rice fry in those oils for a little bit. And you might need to add a little more oil over the top. I always use a silicone spoon because fried rice gets really hot. Not that anything else wouldn't get really hot, but it just makes it easier to stir without your stirring utensil sticking to the pan. And you kind of want to make sure that all the rice is really coated with oil. Otherwise, it will start to stick. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. I really want a wok because I feel like a wok would be a whole lot easier, but my little frying pan will have to do. Okay, and then guess what? Even more soy sauce. That's probably a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons. Probably not quite 2 tablespoons. I just really like a lot of soy sauce, so I'm actually going to make it the way I like it. But if you need to watch your sodium and all that, you can add less soy sauce. And then black pepper, I like a lot of it on there. I'm probably going to add more later. Garlic powder, or use some fresh garlic, very finely minced. Turn down my heat just a little bit. The rice is starting to get that little bit of a crisp. Then I'm going to grab my Spam. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put all 6 slices in. And more pepper. I kind of just keep adding it until it looks good and smells good. I've kind of figured out how it should smell. And then a little more soy sauce. And then I'm going to make a hole in the middle. Drop 1 drop of oil in the center there. And then go ahead and drop your scrambled eggs in the center. You can season those if you want to. And you're going to kind of let them scramble and cook just a little bit. You kind of want like half the eggs to be cooked and half to still be runny. If that makes any sense. Okay, that's cooked enough for me, and then just fold the rice into it like this. You can add more eggs if you like more eggs, but make sure you just stir it all good so that all the rice that had raw eggs on it gets cooked over time. So, a lot of you know this, I grew up in Hawaii, and I was the oldest of 6 kids. For a long time, I was just the oldest of 5 kids. And I stayed home every summer because I was the free babysitter. So, you know, I was 12, 13, 14 years old, and I was watching all the younger kids. And the easiest thing for me to make was like Spam fried rice. So we ate a lot of this. We made something similar, but using top ramen. I would make top ramen, drain all the water out, and then kind of do the same thing with the eggs and the Spam. But I've made this so many times in my life. Do a little taste test. Okay, needs a little more pepper. This is why I stockpile pepper. I have a whole case of this ground black pepper, and that's not all the pepper that I have. I have a lot more. I just love pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more drop of the sesame oil. You don't want to go overboard with sesame oil. You will regret it. But this is like my son's favorite quick dish for me to make. Is it healthy? Can't say that it is. But it's delicious. And that is Spam fried rice. Sometimes I get some fresh green onions and chop them up and just sprinkle it right on top. And that is the finished product. It's delicious, it's quick. Most of these items you have if you're prepping. If you don't have fresh eggs, then you can use the dehydrated eggs, powdered eggs. But I'm going to go ahead and chomp down on this ono meal. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.